So the other day, we had a car come in. It was a Tesla that we were praising.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the coolest things that I saw on this, because he had to go get all his stuff out of the car, and the doors came up like DeLorean doors. And I had to ask him about that because they had this huge wingspan. When that opens up and you're near someone, how does that work? The doors themselves, he told me, fold a little bit more, come up, and then spread out afterwards.
That is awesome. Look, I never thought about that before because you see the doors come up all the time. I mean, I think
they're going to hit something.
I think about the suicide doors, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But those, if we want to call them DeLorean doors.
DeLorean doors.
Sure. Sure. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
They're just going to open up, and if my Kia Optima's next to him, dude, he's going to have to pay for my Kia Optima, which granted, if you own a Tesla,
he's got the money
you
to
can
pay
afford
for it.
to pay for my Kia Optima. So I'm just picturing everywhere he goes, he just pulls in somewhere and here's a check for $10,000 for you. Here's a check for $10,000 for you. They
must have thought of this when they were making this car, wow, this would be really cool. And then someone's probably think about all of the other cars with huge scratch marks coming up on the sides of them. What do? We'll just have them fold in a little bit more, and they'll be able to tell if they're near another car. The computer knows.
That's the beauty of the future, my
the
friend.
Future. Back to the Future, but the episode where he goes there and he's seeing all the cool things, the hoverboard. DeLorean doors that fold a little bit more to get up there.
Friends, I'm Nick Drago, and joining me is Jamie Grum, and we are Big Spoon, Little Spoon. We're a new podcast, and we're ready to rumble a little bit. So basically, every week we're going to pick a random topic out of a hat. This week we chose the future, which will be the topic of today's show. We're going to talk about it a little bit, take a quick commercial break, maybe try to do some research really quick while nobody's looking, and then we'll just get right into it. What do you think? Does that sound good with you?
It seems like a lot of work. I don't want to do this.
We're done. First and last episode right here, right now. So tell me about the future.
Tell you about the future.
Tell me everything you know about the future right now.
I literally, only from what I was talking about before with that door, was that was all new to me. I was not experiencing that. I kind of wish that I would have been able to go inside of it and kind of see all the little bells and whistles.
Yeah.
So I started talking to a couple of my coworkers because a lot of my friends there, they have so much knowledge about cars. Some of these cars, you can literally just set to just drive, and you can just kind of hang back if you're on a long road. Not just cruise control.
I was going to say, because that's already a thing.
There's automated cruise control, right? Most people know about that now, where it knows to gauge the speed, but ones that will literally curve with the road if it goes around.
Wow.
You don't have to steer hands off. I mean, it won't go and merge for you. You can't just set GPS. I know those exist.
Yeah.
But these are ones where it's cars that you can get now, the Volvos, have some of these options where they'll self-park for you. Mm-hmm. And I just find that so crazy now. I'm going to sit there in the car and be what's going to happen? Am I going to crash?
So, it's funny. So, Elon Musk, I was listening to something that he had, I think it was a podcast or something. He was being interviewed. And he was talking about the Tesla, and when they were designing the Tesla, there are so many bells and whistles and features, things that aren't street legal yet, like the automated, driving and parking, things like that. But so many other things that, people just don't know about their Teslas. There's a feature on there, and I have no idea how this works. You might have to look it up or something. But the car, you can play a certain song, and the car will, dance to the song.
No way.
I'm dead serious.
No way.
Yes. And people...
You're going to have a connection with your car. You're going to love your car like you would love your dog.
We're basically going to be driving, you ever see... What's the movie with the beetle? Not the bug.
Oh
Herbie?
My gosh. Herbie? Yeah.
We're basically going to be driving little Herbies.
We need to get a soundbite of that one and just throw that in later. The song for Herbie.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a song?
My mom would actually sing that song.
Wait,
it's a
no,
whole
we have to know
show.
the song now.
Okay.
It's a show?
It was like a show or a movie or something where like the beetle has like a personality.
Okay.
And there's a song and okay, we need to find this.
By the way, when you were talking about Back to the Future earlier, you referred to it as episodes. Those are movies, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a big pet peeve.
I watch a lot of shows. So
Okay.
everything to me is like an episode. Now think about it. Star Wars. They named their next movie, you call the sequels or prequels or whatever, they call them episodes. And those are movies.
Okay, alright.
There we go.
But it's like an overarching saga. Like, do the Back to the Futures have names, or are they just Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, it was like Back to the Future. Did they? You know what? Now that's something we'd have to.
I think it's Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and
Yeah.
Back to the Future 3 fully loaded. No, I'm kidding. It's just,
But
1, 2, 3.
in 2 he goes to the future. He has to go back to the past though.
That's the one where he goes to the Wild West, right?
No. I think it's the third one with the train.
It's been a while.
I think
It's been
they
a while.
set the train up to go at a certain speed. It's so weird.
I don't remember. What were we talking about? The future?
The future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dancing cars.
Maybe we'll talk about the Wild West. I'll write that down. We'll do that one.
Can we
next.
talk about the Wild West?
No,
All
okay.
right.
We're doing the future.
I'm gonna write that down right now. You know, I forget. This way, we just never lose track. Look, Wild West. Done.
Okay. So we're gonna
cool.
switch now. We're doing Wild West.
No. Okay. So the automated cars thing is something that I always, when I think about the future, that's automatically where my mind goes.
Yeah.
Because that's
no
that's
longer
one of,
having to steer.
Yeah. There's two big breakthroughs that I think are going to happen in our generation, or at least in the next 50 years. One is automatic cars are going to be street legal.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, essentially you could look at an age where there's no traffic. So essentially the way traffic works, right, is yes, when there's accidents, you get slowed down. But when you're thinking about it, when you're on a road and it's just red light, green light, every car, if you turn the light green and every single car moves at the same time, at the same speed, you're not going to get slowed down. You're not going to be waiting on that line for you to move. Your car's automatically just going to, it's all going to go at once.
And you know what else there is, too, when it comes to merging? So everyone always has their own opinion on, like, how to merge somewhere. So if you are coming into the highway, right, and you have all that space for you to keep driving a little bit further, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go all the way until the end where you can move, or the dotted lines. Once you see those, merge over. But people try to get in right as they get over there, and there's like that solid line, and they're trying to go in, causing everyone else to slow down behind you.
It's traffic signs.
Yeah.
So essentially, the automated cars, you're going to have an internal grid that all these cars will be linked up. Whether you have a Microsoft car, an Amazon car, a Google car, because let's face it, those are the big companies. They're going to be making their own automated.
Yeah.
Even if you're just getting the AI system, like an Alexa built into your car, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
Alexa, drive me to Grandma's.
She heard you.
Why do we have her on right now?
Because
Alexa, stop listening.
just shut up, Alexa. Okay, we're good. Wait.
She's good.
Okay,
She's good.
So yeah, if everything just works along that same grid, you're going to significantly drop down the number of accidents, the amount of traffic, the time you're taking on the road. The big problem, though, is that driving your own car is going to become more luxury and less of a necessity.
Yeah.
So some people may still have an older car that does not have this. And again, that's why I said 50 years from now. Because 50 years from now...
That's going to be really weird. Like, you're the only, like car that you're driving yourself, and you're looking around like everyone's just...
Yeah,
like that.
I wouldn't even be watching. I could be sitting on my phone. Well, a lot of people do that already.
That's gonna be it. Everyone in traffic like this.
Yeah. I see people all the time watching movies on their phone as they drive. Watching a movie.
No,
I'm dead serious. I've seen
That's
it.
bad.
That's really bad.
That's
Please
bad.
don't do that. Listen to a podcast instead.
Exactly. You don't have to watch us. I know we're not that great to look at.
Speak for yourself.
Whoa. Join me in that one.
All right, I'll join you.
Cool. No, we're good looking. Look at this. Just two guys talking about some random shit.
And for those of you listening to the audio version on our podcast, sorry, you don't get to see us.
No.
But
our
just
lovely
imagine
voices.
just imagine voices totally matching what you'd imagine us to look like. I hope that's a good thing. So I said there's two big breakthroughs, right? The one is the automatic cars.
Yes.
But the second one is man on Mars.
Yes.
And so
we're literally just following Tesla along this journey because they're kind of driving this whole scene.
It's SpaceX, not Tesla. Same guy, different company. Actually, Elon Musk isn't even the CEO at Tesla.
That is true. Yes, he did get
because he smoked that weed. That was a great
one of our next
interview,
episodes. Elon Musk smoking.
Did you listen to that interview though?
No,
it was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Of course, it was on Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah. It was hysterical because he's like it's not legal, right? Like he says like it's totally legal, right? Like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like yeah, but you're the CEO of like a giant company.
Really. Even when it goes federally legal, companies will still be like, I'm not ready to let all of my employees start smoking pot.
Well, if you're the face of your organization and you show up at an interview totally drunk, stoned, smashed, yeah, you're gonna get in trouble.
You don't want to drink on TV.
Not at all.
No. That's just all vodka in there.
This is all vodka. I'm really worried about what this podcast is going to sound like at the end. Hey, everybody! I don't know why I become that way when I'm drunk, but apparently I'm really loud and I have a smoker's voice. So the whole thing with going to Mars now is we have...
Is it really happening?
It's going to happen.
It's like, are we in the works to do this? Like someone out there is
there are multiple companies working on this. SpaceX is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I think they're most likely to be the first.
Okay.
I believe there's NASA has a couple plans in place, and there might be a few other third-party companies. But the big problem with Mars is not getting there. Mm-hmm. We have no problem sending humans to Mars.
Sure.
It's getting them back.
Yeah.
And if you can't get them back, then it's a one-way ticket, and they have to survive and build a colony.
So, from my understanding of this, when we started, because there was that whole thing where people are signing up, they want to go, and some of them are getting approved.
That was the Mars one.
The Mars one. Now that's done. In a way, it's done. But they went there. They chose this knowing that it was a one-way trip.
Yeah, there were plenty of people willing to do this.
So the plan switched to we got to get them back.
Well,
which is fine. Let's get them back for sure. That's great, but.
So Mars One was that was one of those third-party companies.
Yeah.
Right? Mars One was having people, and it could be anybody, send us a video, tell us your expertise, tell us about yourself, blah, 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 and you could be one of our finalists, and, you'll have to go through, a training.
I just thought that whole raffle thing was kind of weird. But, yeah, the training, I guess. If you're up for the training, then you're good to go.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to spend this 300-pound man to space. Not yet, because let me continue to explain. In order to fund that entire thing, they were going to have it as a reality show.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah.
The way of the future, everybody. So, everything's a reality show. Your life.
Why not send this 300-pound person to space? Because it's going to be fucking entertaining to watch him throw up in a space shuttle on the way up there. So the idea was, screw getting these people home. Mm-hmm. Reality show, we're going to start colonizing Mars. Apparently at the time, this is 2012, I believe, they had the technology to do this. I don't really believe that at the time. Nowadays, I'm less skeptical.
7 years later.
Well, that's just how fast how fast technology moves.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they were going to get them there. They'd be staying there, and that's it. You don't come home.
So the whole point of these rockets that we've been, every once in a while you'll see the video of the rockets and them landing back down. They're doing the dual rockets coming down. This is so that we can land a rocket upright, then they can come out of the rocket, get back into it, and then go back.
Kind of. So, I think what you're thinking of is a shuttle. Are you thinking of the lunar,
very similar.
Okay,
but the rockets that we're seeing from SpaceX, I know they're longer, but is that them trying to
So
they're trying to develop the technology so they know that they can land and then go back off.
Kind of.
Now Japan, I believe it was Japan just recently. They landed a small, I guess a small shuttle thing or whatever onto an asteroid. So they were able to do that, get there, and then go back off again. So not like the Phoebe one where they got stuck. this one was able to go back.
So you're not wrong, but you're not right either.
Okay.
So rockets. So what happens is when you watch, let's say you turn on the TV and you're going to watch NASA launch a shuttle, launch a space ship today, right? Once that hits space, the rocket detaches.
Yeah.
It's totally useless at this point. And you have the shuttle, which is left.
So that I totally understand.
Okay.
So that's not exactly what I know. I do know those things pop off there, and then that thing's kind of not able to land properly. But they're the thinner ones. I think that's just them trying to develop the technology to possibly do that. Maybe if they went bigger.
So what they need to do. So when you land on an asteroid or the moon, there's much less gravity.
Yeah.
And so you don't really need a powerful rocket to get you off
just
of that.
Some light like. Psst, psst.
I guess I'm not
thrusters.
Really. I think it's just escaping air. You know, I'm not an expert in that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do an episode of rocket science.
Rocket science. So anyway, so with Mars, the gravity, because it's such a similar size to Earth, gravity is much larger. So you need a strong rocket like these thin ones you're talking about. I don't know. I think what's more likely to happen is you're going to have the rocket. You're going to have a rocket to get you to space. Once you're there, the shuttle will have some kind of thrusting system. It's going to take, I think it takes about 8 to 9 months with our current technology to get to Mars.
To get there, yeah.
Yeah, and you're blasting through, you have to imagine, your body is blasting through a ridiculous amount of radiation fields. So you have to protect the shuttle.
True. Yeah.
So let's say you survive that 9-month trip that no human being has ever done before. You're going to be further from Earth than any other person ever.
Now, we've had someone in space for a year.
That's true.
So we know that we can handle it. Again, that's like you're still kind of, in Earth's orbit. You're not going through.
But a medical emergency, we could have brought them back.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If there's an emergency...
You have to have someone trained.
You have a heart attack, you're done. That's it. So that's why space is like the Wild West. Like, you got bit by a rattlesnake. Sorry, you get dysentery?
I was just going to say, you
trail.
died of dysentery.
Yeah.
Game over.
So there you go. So basically, I don't know why I picked up my word bomb.
Just take a swing, man.
No, I took one already. I had enough vodka already. I'm getting drunk! Where was my brain thinking going?
Well, we were talking about getting to Mars with all that technology.
Yeah, so you gotta get through the radiation.
Yeah, I gotta get through all that.
Through radiation, and then once that shuttle gets there, it needs to have a second rocket system that somehow survives the landing. Has the shuttle, like you said, upright enough or at the right degree that it can then launch them perfectly back to space.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. So we're trying to develop that technology to be able to do that with ease. And we're doing it all the time. I mean, I'm saying we, like, I know it's SpaceX, but like...
I'm totally there.
We're doing it.
Me and Elon.
Just heading out to Mars.
Yeah,
just
the other day he's like, hey...
Let's smoke some weed and go to Mars.
Let's go to Mars. He goes to Mars every day, maybe. I don't know.
He's getting up high, man.
So yeah, I mean, it's funny when you think about technology and the future and how much life has changed, not just in our lifetime, in our grandparents' lifetime, or, the oldest person alive today, I think, is in the 100-teens, maybe.
The oldest living person lived to be 122.
Oldest ever.
We'll confirm that later.
Yeah.
But ever. And I think they died back in, like, the 90s or something.
So think about how much technology has changed. Cars, TV, up until the age of computers, and in our timeline you have phones and iPads and all of that stuff.
We were born in the 90s, so, and we're 90s babies, we get that, yep, so... 1990. And through our lifetime, we have seen things changing from video games and graphics and your phones. I mean, like, when I was growing up, there wasn't a thing as, like, a small child having their phone. Now kids are playing... swiping through things.
When we were kids, like, I don't know about you, but, like, we didn't have nobody had a home computer.
Yeah, we played outside.
Well, I was talking about this with some of my coworkers the other day, so little backstory, I'm a physical therapist. So one of our patients was doing an exercise very similar to hopscotch, and so the idea of hopscotch came up. And we said, well, do kids know what that is anymore? Like, do they still do hopscotch? And
I really hope they do.
Double Dutch. So I don't
know double Dutch.
So every time
what is double Dutch?
You don't know double Dutch?
What is double Dutch?
It's with the two jump ropes.
Oh, see, now I'm not going to be jump roping anytime.
Well, no, I never said I wasn't a person who did it, but I knew what it was.
Okay.
No, we used to have Skip It. Do you remember that?
Yeah, skip it. Bop it.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's
Slap
Bop It. You're literally talking about Bop It. Skip It.
Isn't the same company? Hasbro.
Well, yeah, if it's a children's toy, it's made by Hasbro or
Yes.
Lego. Sorry, fans of Playmobil or whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. What is it? Playmobil?
It's Playmobil, I think. Yeah, I have a couple of
They
things.
have a movie coming out, a Playmobil movie.
No, wait,
It
like
looks
Legos?
It's basically like the Lego movie, but terrible.
I wouldn't bring my son to that.
No.
Unless it's really funny like the Legos, because my son loves the Lego movie.
Who doesn't? But no, Skip It. It was a ring that went
Yeah.
around your ankle.
Yeah.
And then a long tube,
Yeah.
and then at the end was like a bobber. And
I
you had
feel
to
like
jump
that
over
hurts
it.
so many kids.
Oh, tons, but that's the fun of playing
Just
outside.
picture it smacking you in the ankle, like, oh, it's broken!
So yeah, technology, it's changed so much
Yeah.
since just when we were little
Yeah.
tots to today.
And now I'm starting to get that like effect of, I don't understand. Is this what being old is?
I don't know new stuff.
I don't know new stuff. My new phone, it's not that new, I've had it for a year, but I don't know how to use Android. I've only ever used like Apple, so it's like you're getting
You made
stuck.
the switch. Oh man.
Yeah, I had to.
Once
I
you
had to.
master it,
Because I kept breaking them.
yeah.
This one doesn't break. I can throw it across the room when I'm mad and it won't break. Sorry, Michelle. I don't actually do that all the time. That's my wife. She
Once
doesn't like me throwing my phone.
Well, I don't. It's the most expensive thing you have. I mean, this right here, this is the future.
Yes.
I was reading a really cool article the other day, right?
Yeah.
That compared, the different, the different levels of the human brain,
Yeah.
and it went all the way back to the beginning, right? There's 4 levels. Your human brain has 4 levels.
All right. Oh, this is interesting. Let's
Yeah, buckle
Gotta
up
get
for this.
prepared.
So the first level, is basically attuned to like anything a frog can do, right? A frog breathes, a frog eats, a frog
Jumps. Hops.
it does its daily living,
Yeah.
and that's it. It
Takes a
doesn't
poo.
do anything else. Yeah, poo is a thing. Poo is science. All right, it smells and sometimes it's runny, but it's science.
Brown. Sometimes not.
So
Wait, hold on.
okay.
Side topic here. I learned this, and this is kind of the craziest thing. Birds, when they poo out little sacs.
Ew. That explains a lot, actually.
It does. It comes in a sack, so when they land, it kind of like goes like, you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
opens up. But if you ever see one, it's just a sack. It's the weirdest thing.
Wow.
So I rescued. I tried to. We had to put it down. Like someone was throwing stones at seagulls at the beach when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and they hit one. And I'm this kid who's really sensitive. I'm like, we have to save it, and we put it in a box. And like in the next morning, he must have went to the bathroom, but because he was right there, it just kind of like nicely laid out like this. It just looked like. This is gonna sound gross. You're not gonna want to eat sausage anymore, but it looked like a packed sausage.
Gross.
It was really weird. Yeah.
Don't eat sausage anymore.
Well, just give it a couple of weeks until you forget about that. But yeah, that's weird. Okay, anyway, Back to the Future.
I'm gonna I have such a great story that's similar, but okay. So the basic level of your brain is
Yeah.
anything a frog can do,
Yeah,
right? Jump,
yeah.
eat, poop, whatever.
Yep.
The second level of the brain is akin to what a caveman can do. So a caveman can do all of the things of a frog, but
Yeah.
a caveman can think, right?
Okay.
A caveman can communicate. I can talk to you, and you can talk back to me, and I can understand your language.
Yeah.
And we can interact, and I can teach you things, how to make a boat from this tree, right? That's the second level of your brain. The third level of your brain, right, is not just your ability to talk to me, but your ability to talk to me and then think about what I'm thinking about while you're talking to me. So it's the empathy factor, the feelings that
Yeah.
go into everything we're doing, right?
So is this kind of like it's like the id and then everything that comes after that? Because I feel like the id when
that's
you're
more
driving-
that's more the psyche.
Okay.
This is just
the brain.
This is how the brain works,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
So it's you interpreting me, interpreting you, how you feel about different things. It's understanding the people around you. It's more cultural based.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's a fourth layer of your brain, and it's the newest layer that they've discovered of your brain. And it's this little box.
No fucking way.
Your mind...
Excuse my language. Can we beat that?
No. Your mind is already so wired to use your phone. Automatically, as soon as you think, I don't know this, the first thing you're going to do is pick up your phone, go to your computer.
So this has just changed in less than like really a decade. I mean, we've had smartphones for over a decade, but not to the extent that they are now.
Just about. The first iPhone came out.
So all of our brains have
ago.
just changed.
It's conditioning. You're so used to how your phone works. It's just where your brain goes now. And so it's going to get even more in depth in the future, which is why I'm talking about this, and that's going to lead into Neuralink.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking all this from an article that I had read.
So I'll have to find that article.
I know exactly where it is.
Cool.
You know what? I'll have the name for it afterwards. It's really long. It's a great website. The guy writes like super long form articles. It took me a full day to like really power through this thing and like take chunks out. Anyway, so Neuralink is the newest company formed by Elon Musk. So this is all coming back to Elon and the Teslas and SpaceX.
Elon Musk, the stoner's future.
So,
Stone to the future.
We like to make fun of the thing. He's like a modern day Howard Hughes. I mean, he is the reason, not the reason, but, years and years from now, after he's long gone, he is a name that's always going to be remembered. I think so, at least. Like your Bill Gates or your Steve Jobs. Like, he is one of these tech
Einstein.
gurus. Yeah. Well, so back at the turn of the century, right, you had the names like Rockefeller, Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Vanderbilt. I used to live...
Carnegie. Those were the industry
like,
leaders. Well, yeah, Vanderbilt had a few mansions on Long Island, which is where we both grew up.
Yeah.
But those were the industry leaders. Those are part of what led us beyond the Industrial Revolution and into, the 20th century. And now here we are in the 21st century, and we have this new crop of these industry leaders, your Bill Gates, your Steve Jobs, your Elon Musk, that are it's less about business for them. It's more about the technology.
Yeah.
But and really business is a big... Jeff Bezos from Amazon is also... We can't talk about the future without talking about my boy Bezos. So Neuralink...
Literally, you can get anything mailed to you. You don't have
not
to
livestock. I've looked it up. They don't have livestock on Amazon.
That would be crazy.
Yet.
I want to order a cow. And the way that people are like instant gratification, like, well, I'm going to get that cow. It's going to be mailed to me. And if it doesn't come in the 2-day shipping, I'm going to be mad.
Are you a Reddit fan?
Yeah, I dabble.
Okay, it's my new favorite Reddit. It's called Choosing Beggars. And it's literally just people who post stuff. So let's say I want to sell something on the Facebook Marketplace, right? The whole Reddit is pictures of conversations they've had with people who are like, I want this for free. And they're like, well, no, I'm selling it for $40. Yes, but I would like it for free. Like, that's not... No, that's like... It's literally just an entire subreddit of that, and it's hysterical.
Why? So they're just trolling them? I wonder if they're like, you know what? You're very persistent. Sure, you can have it. I really didn't want my stinky old fridge anyway. So
there was this guy, one of the ones I remember.
Right? Oh, I thought
I'll tell you this, and then we'll get into Neuralink.
Cool.
Oh my god, the posting was for like a dollhouse or something, and the guy says, I'd like this for free. Well, no, I can't give it to you for free. I can't give it to you at all. Somebody's already coming to pick it up today. Well, I'll come before them and I'll buy it. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I already promised them they could have it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw you had... I saw this and I want it for free. He was like, no, I can't do that either.
What, was it just like in the background?
I'm sorry, no. He said, can you do 200 because I don't have a lot of money? And the guy's like, well, no, it's 300 and somebody's already coming to pay that 300. So no, he's like, oh, come on, you don't want to help me out? And he's like, you know what? You seem like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I have this old tent that I was literally just going to throw out, but it's still in a really good condition, and if you want to come by today and grab it, you can have it for free. And he's like, great. Do you have anything else for free? And he's like, well, no.
I feel like this one in particular is super serious about it. Like, he really just wants some free stuff.
Yeah, but it gets better. Yeah. So he's like, well, no, like... He's like, yeah, I'll come by, I'll get the dollhouse, and I'll get the tent, and I'll get this for free. Serious. And he's like, no! And so the guy gets really mad who posted it. He says, you know what? I tried to be really nice, I tried to do the right thing, and at least help you and your children out. But you know what? Nothing's free. You can have none of it. And he responds with, I'm picking up my friend's truck now, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I need your address. So he's like, you know what? I changed my mind. Everything's free. Come on down. You can have it all. Here's my address. And sends them to some, like, abandoned pit. I loved it. Yes. Absolutely love it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I know.
I would want to go there and, like, hide in, like, the bushes. Just watch this guy come and be like, where's all the free stuff? And he just picks up a rock, like, I'll take this.
So we'll talk about this, and then we'll go to a commercial break. So Neuralink it's a new company. It's made by Elon Musk and friends. And their job, and they're way off on this. This is like the very beginning of this project, right? It's not something that we're going to see anytime soon. It's to create a microchip inserted in your brain so your phone will always be with you. And it's going to be as simple as this.
So bad.
I can think a thought, and it'll get sent to the chip in your brain. And if you think that's too science fiction-y, the technology exists.
Oh, man, why did you just send me some dick pics? I didn't mean to. I just, for some reason, I thought about it and it popped and I couldn't stop it because I thought about it. How do you control something like that?
So think of it this way. Think of it like a cochlear implant.
Yeah.
Okay. So when somebody needs to hear, right, we insert these things, and what that person is they're not gaining the ability to hear. That device, that sensor, is picking up sound waves and converting it to data, and so their brain is just interpreting that data.
That's so crazy. So we'd be able to essentially be able to think and then know.
Yeah.
It'll hear like, would you like to send the message in your head?
Yes. The technology already exists.
It'll be like Cortana, like from Halo.
Sure. We already have the technology. We're way off base from inserting it in brains.
Cortana.
We already have Cortana. I'm sorry to Alexa over there.
No.
She heard me. Motherfucker. All right. So that's the idea behind Neuralink. And I think this is a good chance for a break. We can do a little research on it, and then when we return, we'll chat.
I like researching.
Perfect. All right, friends. We'll be right back. We're talking the future with Big Spoon, Little Spoon. Hi friends, I'm Nick Drago, host of Sports with Nick Drago. Are you looking for a podcast that's going to give you all the sports news and information and just have a lot of fun doing it? Well, this might be the one for you. Sports with Nick Drago. We're on every Sunday, and you can find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, and the YouTube. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. That's me. We'll talk all about some sports. We'll have a little fun, maybe some laughs. You know how it goes. You can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. And welcome back to Big Spoon, Little Spoon.
We're here.
We're here, and
we're queer. I'm just kidding.
Just a little bit, maybe. Whatever. Who cares?
Everyone has a little.
Sure. So we did a little bit of research during the break. First off, the article that I was talking about is on a website called Wait But Why. It's a very long article. It's going to take you time. It's like an 8-chapter article, but it's really well done. And it talks about my whole thing about the fourth brain and their phones, and then about Neuralink.
Yeah.
So while we were gone, I went a little bit of research on Neuralink. So I was way off. Not only is this technology coming, but it could be coming within the next few years.
Wow.
By 2020, they're planning to start experimentation on humans. They're already doing it on rats now. And essentially, it won't be a microchip. It's more so.
I feel like I might have heard that with the rats. But of course, it's always rats.
It's always the rats. Well, so genetically, rats are similar enough to humans where we can work on them and not...
not like a pig?
No. Empathetically... it doesn't, we're not as saddened by a rat dying as opposed to a pig or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But genetically, they're close enough where an experiment on a rat is likely to also carry over well to humans.
Okay.
However, at least in the medical field, when we're taught to look at articles and whatnot, rat studies are kind of laughed at because they're not humans, they're not people. But again, I do physical therapy. I don't work much with drugs and everything else, so I couldn't tell you those ends of the bargain, the deal. But as far as like rat studies, when it comes to humans and PT in that world, you'd never want to use a rat study. It's not looked as well upon as a human study. So,
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, so the idea is not a microchip. It's going to be more like it's almost like a sewing machine. Like they're going to sew these thin lines, like these strands of tech into your brain.
Into your brain.
Yes.
So it's not going to be like, so I thought you were going to go with that, like the Stranger Things,
Here.
where like Eleven has the little net on her head.
I have not seen season 3, so if you're going to spoil something
That's
for
from
me,
season 1. You should remember,
Woo!
sir.
I need to rewatch it. Okay, so it says Neuralink announced it was working on a sewing machine-like device capable of implanting very thin threads into the brain. Demonstrated a system that read information from a lab rat via 1,500 electrodes. 15 times more than the current maximum for systems used in human brains. And it's anticipated to start experiments on humans in 2020.
So here's the thing with that, because everything comes down to price. Like the Tesla cars and all that, that costs a lot of money, not for like the normal person like you or I, right? Like maybe in the future when we get famous for doing something and we have a lot of money. But how much is that going to cost? So first off, you have to be okay with getting some mild surgery to thread something into your brain.
Just absolute bonkers town.
How much is that going to cost?
A lot. So that's not the biggest fear, though. The biggest fear with this technology, you're turning your brain into a computer.
Mm-hmm. So
neurohacking. Anybody...
I saw where you're going with that.
Yeah, anyone can just log into your brain. And I don't know... We have no idea what the extent of this can be. Am I making your brain send dick pics to your wife's brain just for fun? Who knows? Some kid with a computer in Kazakhstan could sit there, jump into your brain, and make you go rob a bank for all we know.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's
That's
bad.
really bad.
We have no idea.
There's like no safeguards. It's kind of like, and we didn't touch base on this before, but it's kind of like robots, AI.
Yeah.
You could essentially just turn, with that in there, you could turn someone into an AI slave. And that's a human.
The eventual goal is humanity lives forever, right?
I know,
in order to do
that's
that,
crazy, though.
Well, but it's very possible for us to live on through either brain uploading, uploading your brain into a robot, which is more theoretical at this point, because essentially we don't know if we take your brain and turn it into data, you're most likely you're killing yourself and creating a copy of you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, they call this, I think like the teleporter problem or something, I don't remember.
Okay, because you have to literally like transport it, so the theory, I think I remember what this one was, every time you teleport, like, your body just kind of disintegrates. It's gone. And a new one is being formed somewhere else.
And that new one has all of your thoughts, feelings. The new one has no idea that it's a copy.
Yeah.
No one will ever know whether this is a copy of you or the real you that is disintegrated and reformed. So the same idea goes for computer hacking or uploading your brain into something else. Do we know whether or not that's actually you or a computer that's designed to think and feel like you and have all of your memories?
Is this kind of like, where... I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie Her.
I haven't. With Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, now he's going to be in the new one where he's the Joker.
He's going to be in the Joker movie.
His story, right. So, I don't want to give it away too much, so no spoilers here. You know what? It's just going to give it away. So, how can I just say this?
Spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Okay. I'm sorry for you.
It's fine.
So stop listening. Now, at the end of the film, the AIs that everyone's connecting with on there, because like you have this like your own personal AI, they start to learn so much that they kind of ascend and they just disappear into like the void. And now also, if you've ever watched Interstellar,
Yes.
You've watched that one. And
Yes.
the end of that film, where he goes into the singularity, and it's really like this like portal that was made, as some sort of structure that was made by humans only because they advanced so far that they were able to send too. Is it kind of like that? Like, at one point, are we just going to upload ourselves and just be this floating around data everywhere?
I think what's more likely to happen is we're going to create some form of existential crisis.
Yeah.
So there's a really good podcast
Like the
series.
Forerunners. I guess keep bringing up Halo, but the Forerunners.
Yes. So there's a really good podcast series. It's called The End of the World with Josh Clark. If you ever listen to Stuff You Should Know.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So Stuff You Should Know is a very popular podcast. He's one of the two guys on that show.
Okay.
And so he has his own podcast that he created. It's like a 10-episode mini-series. And each one he talks about an existential risk.
Yeah.
Which is some man-made risk, or it doesn't have to be man-made, some risk that if this happens, we all die. A super virus. The sun goes out.
Yeah.
Or the creation of super intelligence.
Wow.
And the way he described it is it's almost as if, let's say we create this super intelligent AI. Let's say all the AI in the world, everything gets put under one roof, this super brain, whatever, takes over.
The hub.
Sure. Big Brother, however you want to put it. Essentially, we're going to be like
a
snails
hive mind
are.
or something?
Well, no, we'll be more like a snail is to us. We have no idea what this thing is, what it's thinking, what it's doing. It's just going to carry on and do its thing, whether it keeps us alive or not. But it's just going to do its own thing, and we will essentially be like snails watching this god among us and not understanding its motives or desires.
Like, we create God.
Well, that's
wild. To think that, we essentially create this super being.
I wouldn't call it God, but in
a form of a higher deity or something, and it's because of our creation.
Well, I would just say it's something that's so much more intelligent than us that we don't understand it anymore, and it's surpassed us. I wouldn't say a God. It's not like it's creating things.
Okay, true.
It's almost like if you've ever seen Jurassic Park, right? Jeff Goldblum's character says, what's the story? God creates dinosaur.
Yeah.
God kills dinosaur. God creates man. Man kills God. God creates dinosaur. Right? It's just this never-ending cycle. We always aspire to be bigger and better, and there could be a point where we push our technology too far.
And we create the dinosaur, the Jurassic Park effect.
Oh, well, think about the woolly mammoth that was found in ice. That
is true.
We can clone a sheep. We've brought multiple extinct species back to life. A woolly mammoth is the next step, and it's going to happen in our lifetime. They're going to at least attempt it. We have the DNA.
I feel like that just wouldn't work, though, with our, climate now. That was, woolly mammoths survived because they were in ice.
Well, that's why
we're not in that anymore.
Well, it was found in Russia. This perfectly preserved baby mammoth was found in Russia, which is cold enough to support that. Mm-hmm. And realistically, mammoths were around, I believe they were around before the Ice Age as well, before and during and even after, which is when humans started to emerge after the Ice Age. We're the reason there are no woolly mammoths, not climate.
Because we hunted them down.
We hunted them down.
These big old woolly beasts.
Humans are the largest cause for extinction ever.
Yeah.
We're
in an extinction period right now.
There's 6 great extinctions. Yeah. This is the largest one there has ever been. It's crazy.
Wow.
We got way off topic, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So, what was the other thing I looked up? So, I was talking about
neurohacking was one you want to go into, I think.
we kind of got into it. Yeah, I scared people enough. So that's all I really needed to do. Apparently, Facebook is also really into the neurotechnology field. We talked about robots, so I'm good. What do you have on Tesla?
Okay, so my researching is a little rusty, so apologies for this one. I found this website, Richtopia. Thank you. I needed a nice little background.
Just a little pat on the back.
So this is already stuff that we have now, but there's this something called the Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy, and Dragon.
These are the rockets that we were trying to discuss earlier.
And shuttles. So we already have shuttles that are supposed to help minimize the amount of time that we're bringing people to the space station, and also to make it so that we don't have to rely on the Russians to get our people and our supplies up.
That's because NASA basically stopped doing most space missions.
They don't have much funding anymore. Yeah, and it's weird how like we went from going to the moon, and all of you moonlander deniers, I mean, make whatever you want to think about, but like we have to go to Mars no matter what. So
why don't we just fake that too?
There we go.
Okay, listen. Let's say
we've already been to Mars. We're just waiting for the footage to show up.
Let's entertain the idea that the moon landing was fake.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have a Russia to compete with right now.
Yeah.
We are the singular global power at the moment.
So we're talking about the future. Is it all faked?
The whole future faked?
Is the future
what
fake?
What if we're in what?
It's always the present.
This is going to get way crazier, but we're about to go down a deep rabbit hole.
Okay.
You can think about the idea that we could be in some kind of, I don't want to say the Matrix because that sounds super lame.
The simulation.
There's a theory that everything around us, this is all just a simulation being carried out within a computer based in some higher power, and we have no way to prove whether that's true or false.
Yeah.
It's an interesting theory because what it means is that, and really we don't know much beyond our expanded universe. We just know that it continues in our heads infinitely. Although they used to think that about the Atlantic Ocean too, and look what we discovered there. For all we know,
5 other oceans.
Yeah. How many oceans do you think there are?
I think there's 7 oceans.
No, there's 7 continents. Although, you know what? I think they added an ocean recently. There's 4 oceans that we learned about. Arctic, Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic. But
what about the red? What about like the Red Sea and stuff like that?
That's a sea. That's not an ocean.
So seas and oceans.
No, a sea is like, it's not a completely
I guess
open
because like the
body
Dead
of
Sea
water.
is kind of like a lake.
Think of it like a gigantic lake, but it has connections to the ocean.
Okay.
Like the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, the Mediterranean Sea. It's not the Mediterranean Ocean.
Come
on now.
So if you were in another country, and you were learning about the continents, right? Mm-hmm. You would have learned about the continents differently than we have here. We learned in the U.S. that there are 7 continents. Mm-hmm. However, they may in another country think that there are countries that do this. There are places where they believe that there's only 2 or 3 continents. You could say the Eastern continent and the Western continent. All of the Americas are one. Europe, Asia, and Africa are all one. I think that the proper term is, it's like Afro-Eurasia is the proper term for that giant landmass. Or you could believe that Europe and Asia are one. So Eurasia is a continent, Africa, U.S., and
it's kind
America.
of like,
and Australia, Antarctica, those are in there too.
It's kind of like really the way that we perceive the world. It's all about like relatively to where you're from, your own perception.
Yeah.
And maybe that's kind of like what the future really is to us. Is it's going to be from the different perspectives of everybody. You know, it's going to be different in every country that you're in. Until we all become like one huge culture, if that's ever going to happen, you know, it's going to be different futures for everybody.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, there is already such a divide between the first world countries and third world countries, and imagine if that divide continues.
Every time we come out with something in our country and it's bigger with technology, they don't have that. They're just falling further behind. It's kind of like tribes that we keep finding that are not connected. I saw that as one of like the ones that we put into the hat, and it's like they're just going to keep getting further and further behind, and really that the future is just about the relative of where you're at. Yeah.
So there's a theory. This is like a cartoon theory. Okay. So you've seen the Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know all the Jetsons. You never see the ground, right? You only see
they're up in the
what's
sky.
up in the sky.
Yeah.
The theory is that the ground is the Flintstones.
Oh shit!
So you're literally talking about this, this type of theory here.
That's what that is.
We never know. You'll never know. It's funny. I thought about.
And don't they do a crossover?
Sure. Yeah. There is.
I think there might be a crossover.
There is a crossover, but that involves like a time machine and a whole bunch of other stuff. So
okay.
that does not confirm that theory. But either way, what you're talking about is right. Is you'll have some societies that are so futuristic, and you already have this today, and some societies that are, let's say, in the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say that chimps are in the Stone Age.
Yeah, they are, because they're using tools.
They use like stone. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy.
What if we had a second species that and
I think about that
millions
a
of
lot.
years, a second species that eventually just figures it out. They develop that next level of brain. Right now, they're on the frog level. I'm sorry, I'm so amped up about this right now. Right now, they're at the frog level. They're just kind of breaking into the human level
out.
Because there are some. If you think some species are at that level,
Yeah.
Dolphins have names for each other.
They do.
Chimps build tools,
And that's empathy, though. Naming? Or is that just like an identification thing?
It's just an identification thing.
Okay.
And we don't know why they do it yet either. That's the thing. Is it might be
Because they hunt and they need to be able to tell.
It could be an instinctual thing, and that's the real problem. If it's not a problem, but if it is instinctual, they're not as smart as we may think they are for having that. It's just something that's built into their brains.
Would that be like the same for us if we're instinctually trying to keep furthering our understanding of our surroundings?
Well, it's become instinctual
for us. That's why we.
It wasn't always that way.
Further.
Cavemen weren't. We lived in caves. We were afraid to travel the world. But instinctually now, after thousands and thousands of years of our ancestors, people pushing the envelope on what humans can do, absolutely. I think that's a good place to end it.
Instincts drive the future.
Yeah. Trust your instincts.
Trust your instincts. Keep moving forward.
Don't put a computer in your brain just yet. We gotta make sure this thing's safe.
Go to Mars and watch out with your car doors scratching others.
Indeed. So, yeah, great. So, special thanks for anybody out there listening to us today. We're happy to have you.
First one.
Yeah, this is the first one of many. If you have a suggestion, something you want us to talk about on the show, our email is wehateforks@gmail.com. Again, that's wehateforks@gmail.com.
Now, before we move any further, I just want to kind of give a little background of our name. We're still trying to kind of get the feel for it. But Nick and I, in the past, have been in a web series that we created. We started it, I think it was senior year of high school for us.
It might be earlier than that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
2009 was the first one.
Oh, really?
It was.
So that would be senior year of high school.
And so we the name of it was Spoons, and I won't go any further. Just maybe keep a lookout on our Twitter when we have that all set up. I might be putting up a link once or twice a week for some episodes for you to watch. And maybe we can talk about the episodes. If you have any questions about them, just throw it.
Free.
If you want to be that hardcore of a fan, we'll interact with you on that one.
If you've become such a hardcore fan after one episode that you want more, email us. wehatesports@gmail.com. Special thanks to Johanna Drago. She's my wife, and I keep forgetting that she has to change her last name.
It takes a while.
Yeah, I'm sure. So she helped us with the logo. She helped us with the set today, and so big thanks for her and for anybody else. Find us on Twitter. You can find us on your favorite podcasting apps. You can find us on Facebook. Type in Big Spoon, Little Spoon, our logo. It's yellow. It's got those two little cute spoon guys.
I'm the one with the beard.
I'm also the one with the beard. They both have beards, right?
No, they don't have beards. Only I have a beard.
Screwed.
But you need to put glasses on mine.
Well, it's a little late.
I have glasses.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So thanks again for joining us, friends, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
See you next time.